What's the most uncomfortable question you can ask someone? Do you have a sister by chance? Would you settle for a brother? Would you settle for me? When are you going to get married / have kids? Especially awkward when someone asks it of you and a good friend of the opposite gender. Not every friendship is a romantic comedy waiting to happen. Sometimes you have platonic chemistry. Happened to me when visiting relatives. They just assumed we were together. However, that other person of the opposite gender was my sister. What kind of debt are you in? The Mayfair are currently fighting a turf war over the collection of said debt. It's made me pretty popular. Ads for Mayfair City tell me all I have to do is wait for the LVL 20 gangster to get caught. Then when I open his closet I become a LVL 99 Mayfair boss. Male nurse here. I'm always asking embarrassing questions to the female patients, especially if they're young. Are you currently sexually active? Do you have any STDs? Was asked by the charge nurse to discharge a 16-year-old female patient for vaginal discharge and to tell her how to clean / medicate herself. I told her no. Do you really want a guy to tell a young girl how to clean herself and to not have sex for 3 months while on meds? She agreed and did it herself. I'm not sure which I'd hate more. Being a male nurse asking a girl if she's sexually actively, or being a male patient being asked if I'm sexually active by a female nurse. On a somewhat funny tangent, I had to take Accutane in freshman year of high school. First question, have you impregnated someone while on this medication? No. Second question, have you become pregnant while on this medication? No. For context, asking a 15-year-old male who doesn't even want to talk to anyone if they've had sex is a surefire way to make them want to compress into a singularity just to avoid talking to anyone. Hey, can we have a talk about your search history? Warning, I have detected that your heart rate is 2,475,532 beats per second. Maybe relax a bit. Did you bathe properly today? This is a conversation I had to have with a coworker once. His smell was very distracting for everyone in the office. Guy's wife had died, and he just sort of stopped taking care of himself afterward. A couple of us got him set up with a therapist. He left the company shortly after for a less stressful job. But I saw on FB a while later the guy's doing much better. Good to hear he is doing good now. How come I wasn't invited? I was once invited to a party, at the end of which the hostess asked me, how do you keep finding out about these? That ducking stung. Never talked to them again. That's so mean. I would just say I was invited. Are you uncomfortable? If they say no, then you should reply with, do you want me to make you uncomfortable? While unbuckling your belt. Have you seen our toothbrush? This is a great one. Why are you so quiet? Where's my hug? Lol, this gives me some flashbacks. After work on a Friday I was saying goodbye to one of my friends and I gave her a hug. Here comes Brett, hey, where's my hug? So I give him the biggest bear hug, the kind that traps their arms at their sides, and picked him up off the ground. There's your hug, Brett. My friend said he didn't ask much after that, but you bet your balls I'd tell Brett, hey Brett, I got your hug right here buddy, with outstretched arms. He would give me an uncomfortable look like, ooh gross. Yeah Brett, that's how you are making everyone feel. As a woman I very much appreciate this response. Are we still friends? Or, who's your best friend? Especially when one of your friends asks it. Why does no one love me? Well, have you tried paying them with my kindness? If you come in the back office with me right now, just you and me, are you gonna be cool about it? Or be a snitch? Asked by my old boss at a grocery store. He just was offering me shots of Fireball because it was almost closing time on New Year's Eve. But that phrasing sounded kinda fishy. Sounded super fishy. Why does everyone hate you so much? I hate this one so much. I lived in a small town so everybody knew everybody. High school was rough. I didn't know how to stick up for myself and soon became the scapegoat for bullies and rumors. Once our senior year hit, people matured a little and started being nicer to me. I made a lot of friends suddenly and all of them would ask why. Does everybody hate you? You're not like they say. It was awkward because most of those people were the ones contributing to the rumor/bullying. I don't know. Why did you? Gods, I wish I could go back in time and ask a few people that. What color underwear are you wearing right now? Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat chuckles. And it was red and yellow and green and brown. And wait, where'd the brown come from? Weren't you pregnant? Edit. I seem to have struck a chord here. If I could give Yael a hug, I would. I ran into someone I hadn't seen since she was pregnant. Me. How's being a mom her? Oh. Not edit. It'll never ask again. Edit 2. Hope all the parents who endured miscarriages and stillborn are in a better place now. I miscarried a few months ago shortly after telling everyone. And now it's an awkward conversation every time I see someone who knew when I'm out drinking. At a job interview, do I have to do a drug test? You do now. I actually asked this question once and I was told if we tested everybody we wouldn't have enough employees. Mayo. To the gay couple, which one of you is the girl/boy? Actually, we are both the boy. It makes being in a lesbian relationship rather confusing. Apostrophe. I actually knew a gay guy who was a self-proclaimed bottom. And he was in a relationship with another self-proclaimed bottom. They would joke all the time about being a lesbian couple. Can you tell me something about yourself? If it's not in a professional setting, my go-to is I have 3 nipples. Depending on their response, it's either a great conversation starter to break the ice, or we wouldn't get along well anyway. I think I'm allergic to chocolate, so that usually makes a good one. Nothing serious. I just sneeze if I eat dark/rich chocolate. Once, back in college, when meeting my then girlfriend's parents for the first time, her dad greets me with a handshake. Nothing odd about that at all. Then, in mid-shake he says, "So you're the guy ducking my daughter." I was genuinely rendered speechless. Edit to add, he didn't mean it in a threatening way or as an alpha move, and that was perfectly clear in the moment. My girlfriend had warned me that he was a bit of a kidder, and I was also aware of the fact that they were very open when it came to discussing sex. I knew before I met him that her dad knew we were sleeping with each other, and that it wasn't something that had to be kept secret. I just didn't expect to be greeted with it during introductions. I'm a firm believer in equal partnership, so to be fair, sir, your daughter and I are ducking each other. Apostrophe. Love this one. I wanna remember this, just in case. I once had a stranger tell me I saw fat and I was like, so what? You were checking out that girly? Honestly had no clue what he was talking about because I seriously wasn't checking out anyone, but he kept insisting that I was and that I should stop denying it. The dude was like 40. What the duck was his problem? Ducking ember-butting man. You don't have to lie. Why are you getting mad? Only guilty people get defensive. That is not correct. I'm getting pissed because you're accusing me of something I didn't do. You duck. Doctor. In front of parents. Are you sexually active? I only do *AL. Apostrophe. Doctor. That explains the smell. I'm not sure if it counts. But if someone asks you, "Hey, can you move over a seat so I can be next to my friend?" Especially if you thought the person asking you was your friend. Along the same lines, when at parties with friends I was always asked to take pictures of people but no one ever asked to be in a pic with me. It stung. Okay, I have this issue. Friends always post pictures on Instagram at football games, parties, etc, so I know they take pictures. But whenever I'm with them no one ever offers to take pictures with me, and so I feel like I have to force people to begrudgingly take pictures with me, and usually I suggest we get a picture and people act like they forget. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is why I hate interviews. I don't even see myself doing anything in an hour and I think I have 5 years planned already. WTF. Say, I see myself with your job. Total mad lad move. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pretty do you think you are? It's bad because if you give yourself a high score, feel bottom that you're egotistical. And if you give yourself a low score, feel either bottom that you're insecure or that you're fishing for compliments. Everyone always answers this with 7. I say 7 if the person asking is hot. 6 if they're not. I'm a 6 in case you're curious. Do you think your friends ever regret meeting you? Not generally, no. Friendship is largely optional on their part. Wow, you just made me feel a lot better about my friendships and life. Thank you. I saw an old high school acquaintance at a club once. She had always been super skinny in HS, but this night she had a very pronounced belly. I bottomed since she had always been skinny and only had grown in her belly that she was pregnant. She was not. Editing this after my BF insisted that I tell the whole story. I can't remember exactly how I asked her, but she replied in a half laugh that she wasn't pregnant. Me, thinking she was joking, replied, oh, just a big lunch then, while patting her stomach. Then I laughed and walked away. My cousin later told me what I had done and informed me that she had a 1-year-old and hadn't lost her baby weight. I will never do that again. As a male, I operate under a policy that the only time that you can ask a woman if she's pregnant is if she is in active labor and the baby is crowning. And even then you must exclaim surprise that you had no idea. That is a really excellent policy. The one time I asked, it was so ducking obvious that she was pregnant. Skinny all over, huge pregnancy belly, but she wasn't. Tell me about yourself. Windows has decided to shut down. I have a problem where whenever anyone asks me my favorite book, movie, band, etc., I cannot think of a single thing I've ever seen or heard. Same goes for if, and it would be a rare occasion anyway, I was to do karaoke. I had to save a list of songs that I actually know in my phone notes, so I don't just flip through the songbook in increasing anxiety. Open bracket. I do the exact same thing. It's like that Billy on the Street sketch where he asks some poor girl to literally just name a woman for $1. Her brain shut down and so would mine. Why is that clown following you? He's my boyfriend. What do you think of me? Whenever someone says this to me, I'm always so puzzled and awkward about the whole thing. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Well, there's the divide. Many people ask the question more implying, tell me something that will make me feel you're sincere, but will flatter me vs tell me what you literally think. People like to be valued but not measured, seen but not observed, heard but not scrutinized, understood in the moment, but not understood in totality. The former makes them feel significant, the latter reduced. Hey, we need to talk. This is the worst, especially over text. Just reply, yeah, I think we do. Then you're both having an anxiety attack. This made me burst out laughing. Well done. Why don't you have any children? I was a chronic miscarrier. My son is a super duper miracle. No. Where are you actually from? West Philadelphia. Born and raised. Is it in yet? I was starting and forth on a patient. She said something like, I was going to ask you if it was in yet. I didn't even feel it. I wanted to say something like, normally this is the worst thing for a man to hear so bad. But yeah, no. Professionalism. You'll feel a little prick. And on pregnant women, how far along she is. This happened to a friend I used to work with. Both she and I had both gained a decent amount of weight from eating out too often and a high stress job. However, she was married and I was single. We were both getting coffee in the kitchen when another coworker came up and congratulated her on her pregnancy, completely innocently. My friend awkwardly laughed it off and said she wasn't pregnant. As soon as the coworker left, she burst into tears. She went home early that day. That single question changed what she ate in front of others and how she dressed at work for the rest of the time we worked together. This is me. There are several outfits I don't wear to work anymore. I didn't even gain much weight. But the combination of getting married in the last year and being a first grade teacher makes people suspicious. Depends on the person. For a lot of women, it's so when are you guys going to have a baby? I literally had to tell my mill that we are trying and that we haven't used protection for some time now. Embarrassed her enough to back off the topic forever. She's very old school. I've been ejaculating butt loads of semen into your daughter's vagina for several months now. The way to combat an awkward question is to provide an even more awkward answer. Best of luck to you two. By the way, edit. Please don't follow this advice. It's a dumb joke on the internet, and you risk ruining your relationships with loved ones if you actually follow my suggestion. Don't do that. This one popped up out of nowhere during a lunch with a group of friends. Dude just asks me out of the blue, "You don't like me, do you?" No prompting. No conversation leading up to it. The only thing I can even think of is that in the days leading up to it, Ed told him I didn't want to go LARPing and told him no when he invited himself over to spend the night at my wife's and my apartment, so he would be that much closer to the LARPing location. For reference, he lived maybe 15 minutes away from us, and LARPing was maybe 45 minutes to an hour from there. We had only met him a few times total at this point as a friend of our friends. To answer the question, I mean, yeah, you make me uncomfortable inviting yourself over and being pushy / guilt tripping about things. But let's not make a scene at lunch, bro. Is it cool if I shoot some smack real quick? Best results at family gatherings. Some dude to me on Discord, how big are urbadoonkas? I'm a guy. Reply with there's different bra sizing systems. Which one do you want me to tell you in? Then block them. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want more videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. You are helping me a lot. Thanks again.